All right, welcome to NAD, Naval Ammunition Depot Park, one of my very favorite local disc golf courses. Uh, it is not a super long course, it's all par three, but it's fairly technical. A lot of having to shape your shot, which is my favorite kind of play. Um, this one, hole one, 228 feet. Uh, and It's pretty close to straight dead ahead. Down here a little bit. There is some danger though. There's a Mando on the right that you can't go to the right of. So you have to go left of that tree. And then also, when you get about 180-ish feet down, there is a lovely swamp on the left side that you need to make sure you're aware of as well, because many a disc has been lost in there. Oh, I fluffed the heck out of that, and that was terrible. There's really no way for you to be able to see the lie because I'm so much in the bushes. So hopefully you can see the disc come out with this shot. Oh no, I hope that's not in that swamp. All right, my disc is not fully surrounded by water, but it is halfway around water. I'm on the very close edge of the swamp. I'm gonna go ahead and take about a meter of relief. I'm not sure what the exact rules here at this course are, but for relief, but I'm doing it anyways. Oh, you gotta be joking me. All right, hole two here at NAD is about 300 feet, I want to say. There's a huge jail of trees right in the middle, right between you and the basket, which is no big deal because you're going to want to go to either side of them. There is a left gap for a forehand. Even if I had a better forehand, I don't like it. The right hand gap for a backhand is absolutely the way to go. You want to throw something that's going to push out there for a while and then fade. You don't want something that's going to fade too early, or else you're definitely going to end up short of this one. Oh, that's not a good line. Oh, apparently I'm just going to drive into trees today. All right, you should be able to just see the basket through a gap in the trees I set up here. I'm still, 200 feet, so. Oh, I don't know if that's going to fade enough. And I threw that really long. All right, so yeah, I definitely threw it long. I'm actually almost all the way out to the main path. They've added some stakes out here. And I know there was talk of adding some OB to this course. So I'm wondering if those stakes are going to be the OB line. I'm not sure. There's definitely nothing marked about it yet. But if that's the case, well, I don't know. I may or may not be OB right now. I'm not sure. Well, at least I gave it a better bid than the last couple long ones. Okay, so in case it's not obvious, we are enjoying a typical spring day here in the Pacific Northwest. It is what we lovingly call liquid sunshine. 55 degrees and raining a little bit. This is actually pretty normal for the Northwest. It just rains a little bit a lot of the time. We don't get crazy rain. We just get a little bit all the time. Hole three. This is 225 feet. This hole and I don't get along. Because there's a couple big trees right here in the middle that if you go to the right, I have a habit of going too straight and going down the hill, or I could hyzer around them and be 50 feet short, or I could go to the left of them and hit something, because that seems like my only options. I always feel like a straight forehand to the left of the big trees would be the right play. I have never hit that line. I'm going to go ahead and do a backhand. Oh, and there is actually a Mando on the left side here. You can't see it very easily from the tee pad. It is marked on the sign, mainly because this front tree is blocking the Mando tree. The idea is they don't want you taking this big, huge hyzer route over the left side. So I'm going to go ahead and throw my pekka pekka. Oh man, I'm gonna hit that. Jeez, I hit a tree on every drive. All right, so I know in the distance you can see two baskets. We're actually aiming for the one that's to the right. That's because today we're playing the short pads. Unfortunately, the shot I have has to be a forehand, and not my greatest shot. Especially when I go off another tree. Oh, nope. That should be easy. All right, hole 4, 188. It's just up here. Not super long. I'm going to go ahead and throw my gauge. I will tell you, though, three bogeys on my first 3 holes. I love this course, but apparently today it does not love me. Man, every tee shot. That might be too far. Oh, no, I think it might be okay. All right, this didn't turn out too bad. All right, hole 5, 207. It's down a little bit of a valley back up. The basket's about even with where we're standing. Not a super hard shot, but you got to get the disc really straight if you're going to throw backhand, because you can't really go to the right. I really have always liked doing something understable. Try to just drive it into the hill right around the basket. That, oh, I'm going to die left. Oh. All right, so one of the things that makes NAD a great course is it's not a giant park. Obviously, you can tell lots of trees, very technical. They did a great job of figuring out a layout in a relatively small space for 18 holes, and you don't feel cheated on any of the holes. But one of the things that makes it really great is that there's actually 4 different courses here all on the same layout. So every hole has 2 different tee pads, the reds and the blues. The blues are generally considered the more difficult, but they're generally just a little more technical of a line. There's only a couple that it just straight makes it longer. Most of them it's just a little more technical line. And then there's also 2 baskets for every single hole. And the baskets pretty much are just straight up shorts and longs. So today I am playing the easy route, the red tees with the short baskets. Maybe someday in the future we'll do a round with some other combination, long baskets or blue tees or something. But it's kind of cool because with the 2 tee pads, 2 baskets, you get your choice every time. So anyways, hole 6, it's only 177 feet. It is a little bit uphill, and it is absolutely straight into the middle of these trees up here. You can go a backhand line off to the right of the trees, crash in, or I actually like a little bit better on this one. I think it's a little more open, a forehand line, get it up on the left side and let it crash into the right. At least for the short basket, I usually find that to be more successful for me. Come out of it. Nope, that's not coming out soon enough. Should be an easy par. So I definitely ended up short of where I thought I was going to be. Makes you wonder if I tapped into this tree and dropped. Oh, that was not good. Yeah, definitely left myself something there. Yeah, I couldn't call this one a tap in because this is that 20 feet that I was only averaging 60% on. Oh, and I missed it. That's not even a tap in coming back. All right, hole 7, 252. If you look at the direction the tee pad's facing, it is just a dead straight shot down the hill, quite a ways down the hill. This basket is absolutely easy to overshoot. So what I like to do here is I actually like to shoot a little bit to the right instead and do something overstable, try to throw it flat so that it goes out and hooks down in there. Kind of helps me prevent from going too long. I know too long is not a problem you often hear me complain about. Oh, I hit a branch which slowed me down a bit. I think I'm gonna end up short, but I think it's a good position. Well, I was exactly right. A little short, but great position. Oh my gosh. Can't get a putt to sink today. All right, hole 8, 275-ish. It's pretty much just straight down here, very slightly to the right. One nice thing is there's a little bit of a backdrop, so if you manage to get past the basket, which I've not often done, there is a little bit of a backdrop to run into. The downside is that it's very much slopes down to the right. All along the right side here is swamp, and if somehow you kick right and go even further right, it's even worse swamp. And then up on the left, there is a nasty hillside with enough undergrowth that you will absolutely get caught up on the hillside. So keep it in the fairway. That should be low enough on the hill that I'm okay. That wasn't a great shot. Wow, too far. All right, this putt's only 20, 22 feet. With downhill, sloping away to the left, this shot scares me. If you like downhill putts, you're a weirdo. Oh, thank goodness. All right, so welcome to hole 9. Basket's just straight down, straight ahead of us. If you look at the tree that has been hit so many times, and then look at that tree that is just the tiniest bit to the right of it, right in between those two, you'll see the basket. Just for your information, though, this fairway follows the same fairway as hole 8, the last one we were on, except that we're up that hill that was on the left. So we're about 40 or 50 feet above that. So if I go left here, I fall back down that hill down to 8's fairway, which is an awful place to be. Also, that means I just had to hike up that hill. And that's always the part I look forward to least on this course. I'm going to throw a forehand on the left side, trying to make it so that even if somehow I shank it left, it's not going to go all the way down because it's trying to fight back. Well, I'm going to get in those branches, but otherwise not a bad shot. Yeah, I should have an easy upshot to the pin. Yeah, there's the tap in. All right, welcome to the back 9. I think I shot 4 over on the front 9. Maybe it was 5, but I think it was 4. I'll have the numbers, of course, posted on the screen. This one, 215-ish feet. The way it's laid out, it really screams forehand hole, but I've had a lot better luck trying to go, a straight shot backhand right at the basket. So the basket's just up here on the hill, slightly to the right over here. It is absolutely a relatively clear shot, and if you can kind of straight line a shot into the hill just below the basket just left, you actually give yourself a pretty good putt. So that's where I've been trying to go with it. Have a lot better luck than with my forehand. Well, if I wasn't throwing so soft, that would have been a great throw. This should be an easy par, though. I gotta say, pretty disappointed in my drives today. Even for someone who has an admittedly weak arm, this has been a pretty poor performance. Just giving myself too many long putts like that to get any birdies. Now, don't get me wrong, still having a great time. I still love this course. And I just love getting out in the woods. This place is great. Even knowing that I'm in a relatively large city, it's just so peaceful here, and you hear the birds, you get the squirrels angry at you. It's great. All right, what am I on? Hole 11, 216 feet. There's obviously the straight shot here, which is what I'm going to go for. I've always thought there's a pretty line going to the left for just a slow drifting hyzer forehand. I just have never been any good at that slow drifting forehand. Trying to actually do a hyzer shot on forehand has always been kind of my weakness of the forehand. Well, besides the whole throwing part. So I am going to go ahead and try to go the straight line. Sometimes if you can get it to drift just the tiniest bit right, you can dodge the big tree up there and get a real nice shot, but I'm not having my best throwing day, so we're probably just going to throw it right into a tree. Well, yeah, basically. I don't know if it's tapping, but I got a putt. And borderline tapping. All right, hole 12, 225. It is straight up this corridor. It's basically just straight down this corridor. Once you get about 150-ish feet, 130 feet, it definitely opens up down there a little bit. And then it's kind of a pick your poison how you want to get down there. But only time I've ever parked this hole was with a forehand. And yet every time I've thrown it since, it's been terrible. I'm going to stick with the backhand. My throw hasn't been that good today. I don't know how I got through those bushes. That actually might not be too bad. Lots of guardians, but not too bad. That's gonna be right behind that tree. So what do you do when you get a really lucky drive? Screw it up by making your upshot right behind a tree. Oh, thank goodness. Also, I've heard of elevated baskets, but this seems like what would you call it, a depressed basket? A de-elevated basket? I don't know. This one's short. All right, hole 13, only 162 feet. It's up this little rise and then back down. You can't see the basket. It's a completely blind shot, but just trust me, it's straight that way. With the rise and trying to get around these trees that are right in between me and the basket, I personally prefer the overhand. I'm going to go ahead and overhand my Raider here. And I have definitely parked this a few times. I've also quite a few times put it 30 or 40 feet to the right of the basket. Just seems like that's where my flight goes a lot of time. On a side note, the rain had slacked off, I only got really rained on for about the first 4 or 5 holes, but now it feels like the wind is coming up, which won't really bother me here in the trees, but it really feels like it's blowing in some more weather, so I'm a little worried my weather might turn pretty nasty here. Well, that was an interesting kick. So I didn't actually mean to throw on that inside line of those 2 trees. I also didn't intend to get the tree kick I got, but I guess it all worked out in the end. All right, hole 14, 236. Corridor right down here. You can actually see the really beat up trees. You're supposed to shoot between those. Basically, just throw it out straight and then let it kind of start dying. Then it'll die off to the left onto a pretty steep hill. Now, not that steep, but steep enough hill that likes to let your disc trickle all the way down past the basket, way down to the bottom. So it's a very touchy shot to get there. As some people like to call it, the local line. Right down here, there's a nice gap between the trees. It's probably a touch bigger than this gap. You're throwing about 30 degrees left to the way the tee pad's throwing, but you throw a forehand down there, and if you can get it to hook right, then you're crashing into the hill instead of down it, and tends to stick a little better. And I'm going to drill the tree. Oh, no, I'm not. I guarantee the camera is not doing justice to how steep this hill is. This is a lot downhill right here. I hope I'm in any kind of range. Not sure. At least it landed flat. So at this point, I had some user error. I did not get a recording of my drive on hole 15, which is a bummer because it's actually a pretty good drive. Put me in birdie position. All right, so this had to have skipped down the hill some because I did not think that I was going to be this close. Also, I hate downhill putts. I think I already made that pretty clear. Oh my gosh, I made it. All right, time for a history lesson. This hole used to be right here. We got this funky pad where it's wide at the bottom and then it actually narrows down to the back. And it used to be up this steep hill that's probably 50 feet of vertical. Hole's only 150, 160 feet, something like that. The basket was up at the top of this hill. I really loved this hole, but fact is that erosion was getting so bad with people climbing this hill. This is a popular course. When people climbing this hill, the erosion was getting so bad that they were worried about killing the trees on this hill. So they decided they needed to kind of go for a different route. And so here's that hill. What they've done is they put a new tee pad here off to the left, just only 10 feet away. And then now this one goes up this valley here. And so the basket, I don't know if you can see it back there. The basket's kind of near the top of the hill, but straight up this little valley that has natural erosion, so we're not as worried about boots messing it up. All right, and so now that you understand the history of the hole 16, it's only 156 feet. It is still quite a bit uphill, and it is bending left to right. So not exactly my greatest shot. To be honest, this is probably a more challenging form of this hole than straight up the hill was. I just don't like it much. I liked this straight up the hill shot. I think it was fun. That's actually a pretty good shot. Shoot, I might have a putt. Well, I guess I lied. I don't have a putt. I have a tap in. What on earth? All right, hole 17, 201 feet. Straight down the corridor, slightly to the right. You can forehand, go straight down, hook it right at the end, or you can actually do a little bit of a flex backhand to come out, flex to the right of some of the trees up there, and then straighten out towards the basket. I'm gonna go the forehand route, and hope I don't hit this fallen tree here that I've hit so many times in the past. Well, I turned that way over. Oh, there's a lot of trees to dodge here. This is fun. That actually might be really good. I hope so. All right, so it's realistically a tap in, but I just didn't know it, so I thought I'd show you. All right, hole 18, 225 feet straight ahead of you. A little bit more open on the left side than on the right. There's definitely some jail on the right. The really nasty jail, though, is if you go too far left. I love how this green or how this fairway looks nice and lush and beautiful, and don't let it fool you. This time of year, that is marsh. If you end up in that grass, then I hope your shoes are waterproof. Oh no! I was trying to throw that with a lot of Anheuser. Didn't get even close to enough. Oh no! Just into the ground. Well, I guess that is 18 holes at NAD Park. Not counting this putt here. I think I only had one, maybe two bogeys on the back, and I think I had two birdies. So definitely played the back nine better than the front nine. Oh, that's not making it. So I guess I'm having a bogey on this one. But well, regardless, even if I'm one over on the back, four over on the front, I think it was 5, 6 over, something like that. Definitely not my best day. But doesn't change the fact that I love this course. This place is amazing. Just love the green. I love the forest. I love the nature. Even if you can occasionally hear the highway in the background. I mean, again, we are in the city. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.